It's officially December, so of course that means we're playing the World Cup. It's been a weird tournament, and today was no exception. Welcome into Golden Goal. We are coming at you live on YouTube, on Twitter, on Twitch, wherever you are watching us. He's Martino Puccio, co-host of the State of the Play pod, also writes for The Athletic, covers football. I'm Matias Weilmann from OddsChecker. Martino, fill in the blank here. If I told you before the tournament started, Germany and Belgium are going to be missing out on the round of 16, you would have told me I am blank. And it doesn't have to be appropriate.
Half right, I guess. I don't know. I didn't like Belgium, but Germany, I'm stunned. I mean, I'm dead wrong on the group winners. Just the lack of finishing again against Spain ends up costing them, and this is why goal differentials matter, because that's what ultimately what it came down to. Even in this match, they would have gotten actually pretty close to Spain, but wow, stunning. The best day by far of the World Cup, in my opinion.
Just start to finish, just sheer madness. And again, if you're watching us live, you have any questions, we have answers. Throw your best bets at us from tomorrow. Tell us what your best bets were from today, because we cleaned up pretty well today. So we want to hear from you guys. Tell us any questions, comments, concerns. If they're concerns about the show, I'm probably not going to answer them, but hey, you might as well put them in anyway. Martino, let's start with the two games that just wrapped up, as we have 4 more spots clinched in the round of 16. Well, we got to start with Japan-Spain, because that was just pure madness. Once again, Japan coming back from behind and picking up a win with a couple of second half goals. They beat Spain 2-1 and ended up taking the group. Didn't see this one coming. We talked about Japan being a potential shocker, but this is a magnitude shocker.
Yeah, I mean, this is kind of like why we were saying it would be so funny if they failed to beat Costa Rica, who conceded 11 goals all group stage, and they got none against them, but they beat Germany and Spain. Like, it's just, and they were both comebacks to boot. So, I mean, I'm stunned. It's incredible. Overhit 2.5. That's nice. But I mean, Spain, geez, like if you're a Spain backer future wise, this is what we were saying yesterday in all tournament long. How are you not scared of this finishing? Like, it was great against Costa Rica. That's awesome. But now in some of these moments, some of these opportunities that they had in this game, like, they should have been closed, open, shut. I mean, just really poor, really poor. But congrats to Japan. This is amazing. Like we said, losing like that to Belgium in 2018, coming back like this. And again, it looked like all hope was lost against Costa Rica. Winning this was truly impressive, and they've been the most electric team of the tournament.
Yeah, this day has provided nothing of what we actually thought was going to happen. We cleaned up nice in this game, though. We had the over on 2.5. I had a goal in both halves, had both teams to score as well. I texted you when it became 2-1. I said, hey, easy hit on the over. Maybe not how I thought, but we will take it regardless. So again, Japan wins and takes the group. The second game was a team that maybe has been one of the most, I don't know if embarrassing is maybe too intense of a word, but disappointing along with Belgium. That is Germany, who ends up winning against Costa Rica. All that we really care about is that Germany led at halftime and at full time, so we cash in on that. But Germany win, but they are out for the second straight World Cup, fail to advance past the group stages. I mean, look, as an Argentina fan, I'm not too upset right now. But tell me what you saw in this game, because it seems like everything we thought was going to happen came true with this German squad.
Yeah, I mean, listen, they scored 4 goals. They scored 4 goals. They did what they were supposed to do. I mean, it was nice to have the halftime and full time. They were in complete control. I mean, for a second, we were looking at Spain and Germany both out. That's kind of what I was rooting for at that point, because nothing else mattered to me. I just like the pure chaos of it all. But yeah, I mean, great on Costa Rica grabbing 2 goals. They really battled to the very last second. I mean, Keylor Navas had a massive save as well at one point. But the defending was lacking. I mean, Kai Havertz walked that third goal into the back of the net. That was like, how do you lose your man right there when he just scored to level the match? To me, it was a poor closing from Costa Rica. They looked gassed. But again, Germany, Jamal Musiala, I don't know how many times this kid was playing so well, but the end product was still missing the entire tournament. Good news for him is that he's just a teenager, but this is kind of still a little new cycle going in for Germany if they head to the Euros in 2024, because Muller could be gone. Manuel Neuer could have been in this last tournament. I mean, there's a lot of question marks, but overall, it has to be disappointing for them, regardless if Timo Werner was there or not.
Yeah, you talked about kind of fresh blood on that German sideline and maybe that propelling them after they missed out in 2018. But no such luck for the Germans. They bow out in the group stages again. So again, it's Japan at the top of the group and Spain right behind them. Of course, as we all anticipated. Let's move on to our 10 a.m. slate, Croatia and Belgium. So two teams that really could have used a win here. And of course, there were no goals. I specifically said yesterday, I don't see this match ending in a draw. So of course it's going to. And here we are 24 hours later. Good riddance to a Belgian team that was probably the most disappointing in the tournament, right?
Lukaku should have had like 4 goals.
Yeah.
I mean, just like that was. And I'm not even trying to rag on the guy. That was one of the worst World Cup performances I've ever seen. Like, we just needed one. He just needed one. These were all tap-ins. He didn't have to hit the post. He's running into the ball. He's not even trying on that last one where he has to do anything. Like, hit it with your shoulder. Like, get down, try to head the ball, get on top of some of the balls with the headers as well that he hit over. Just really shocking. In Hazard, I mean, Roberto Martinez already resigned immediately after the match. So that golden generation is done and dusted. I didn't like him. I'm not trying to pat myself on the back too much because I didn't hit the bets. Well, I didn't hit the bets in this game because Croatia money line in over 2.5. I thought this would be a lot more open, but again, it was the finishing, and that was something really poor and shocking from Lukaku. Croatia didn't play that great. But again, all they needed to see through was a draw in this. So kudos to them. So they're in the rounds of 16.
I think we're up to 2 managers, if I'm not mistaken, either resigning or being let go of their duties after Mexico's Tata Martinez, though we knew that one was bound to happen. And now we get to the winners of the group. Didn't see this one coming either. Morocco ends up taking the group. They take the win from Canada as well. Feels like the whole tournament we've said the same thing about Canada. Good squad, good talent, but damn, they are young and make a lot of mistakes, especially that first goal. I mean, you can't say enough about it.
Yeah, exactly. Listen, I thought it was a good experience. It's unfortunate that I think the main storyline from this is that Alphonso Davies is beefing with the Canadian media, which is really upsetting because this is the greatest player they've ever had, and he had a good World Cup. Yeah, penalty miss aside, so what? Messi's missed one. What are you going to rag on him? He was amazing against Poland. So that's not the extent in how you're supposed to evaluate things. Canada, super young. Again, they don't have to play a massive World Cup qualifying match until then. This game was as open as we thought it would be. This is how the tournament's been going for me. You know this personally, and if you've been watching the streams every day, you know this. I, of course, take the bet that I placed for the Croatia-Belgium game and suggested, but does Martino take Morocco over 1.5? And the money line? No, he doesn't. He doesn't do that.
I tried.
I didn't. Yeah, I didn't get that one, and that was the one that hit. Kudos to Morocco again. Ziyech has been amazing. Amrabat has been one of the best midfielders in the tournament. Kudos to them. Canada, sorry you don't come away with any points, but great for Morocco. What plus 1,000 to win the group is insane. So congrats if you ever had that.
Yeah, just fantastic. They have been the team of the tournament, I'd say, so far, especially a shocker team. So after those wrap up, you got Morocco and Spain. They'll meet up in the round of 16. Of course, Morocco being the number one from the group there, and Japan, Croatia, who will end up linking up as well. That'll be a lot of fun to watch. Let's get to our matches for tomorrow. First, though, again, if you have any questions, drop them in for us. Any comments, tell us your best bets that hit from yesterday or what you're looking at tomorrow, or send us some of your tickets if you're tailing us from the show as well. We're going to start in the 10 a.m. slate. It's Group H. It's Ghana and Uruguay. Boy, we have heard a lot about this match, including some people in Ghana considering Luis Suarez the devil himself. That is a real quote that exists going back from that handball in the World Cup in 2010 for Ghana in the quarterfinals. What I'm looking at here is a Ghana team that is going to be pretty fired up and a Uruguay team that needs to win to have any chance.
I think this line is based on experience and only that. I kind of don't see why Uruguay, again, it's not a heavy favorite, but if you're looking at Ghana at the numbers that they're at, I find it pretty surprising. I do. Yeah. Uruguay hasn't proven to be scoring a lot. Ghana they were good against Portugal. They played great last match against South Korea. Obviously, they're susceptible to blowing these leads and allowing goals. but neither
Makes
of
it
these
fun.
teams, but yeah, of course, but neither of these teams have been that great and reliable. Under 2.5 is something I've been looking at. -125. Again, you could go either direction in this because match day 3, all bets are off. We saw what happened today, so don't be married to that kind of stuff. I do love what you put in as well with Suarez anytime. If you love the chaos, I'll let you talk about that. But also, just again, yellow cards, or I find that interesting. If you're able to find a bet that could take you a Luis Suarez yellow card, and I don't know, I just feel like there's that type of chaos within this match. But for me, I don't trust the goal scoring that I've seen from Uruguay. But watch me be wrong. Who knows? But I'll stick with under 2.5.
Well, I mean, Uruguay has yet to get on the scoreboard, so that certainly presents an issue. I feel like they're not going to go this whole tournament without a goal, which would also be pretty embarrassing for me because I picked them out of the group stage. Just a reminder, the group looks like this. It's Portugal with 6 points. They're already through, regardless of where they finish in their group. Ghana has 3 points. They're in second, so right now those two would qualify. Korea, Republic, and Uruguay both with 1 point. So they both need a win to advance here to have any chance. These are just straight narrative bets if you're into that. Again, Ghana is going to be super fired up for something that happened 12 years ago. We got to talk about that. It's a little rough image-wise, but whatever. It was still very important on that Suarez handball. Looking at a couple things here, especially for Ghana to come out hot. If you want Ghana to score first, you can get that at +200. Ghana +2 in corners if you think they're going to be aggressive. I'm a little less confident on that just because I think obviously Uruguay is a team that has a lot of experience, especially in the top with Cavani and with Suarez, although they're not obviously in their primes anymore. And you mentioned it, Suarez anytime to score at +165. I'm just going straight chaos here. Is why I'm going with some of those. Overly confident? Maybe not. This Uruguay team has been really disappointing, and Ghana has shown a lot of good stuff in the tournament so far. Let's go to the other game that's in this 10 a.m. slate. It is South Korea and Portugal. Like we talked about, Portugal has already punched their ticket into the round of 16. South Korea needs a win to at least have a chance to get in here. Tell me we're going Cristiano Ronaldo anytime scorer again.
I'm not, just because of lineups. Obviously these markets are crazy. We know Portugal has seen themselves through to the next stage, so if they don't want to risk Cristiano Ronaldo, I get it. Again, very similar to what we've seen. I like Kylian Mbappe, for example, and like I was saying with like a Dembele or a Griezmann, they're not going to play a full 90 minutes. They might feature, but again, if you know someone isn't going to be playing a full match, that's riskier to place that kind of bet. And again, I think last I checked, it was like +125 for Ronaldo, so that's still pretty decent. But for me, again, the scenarios are what matter here. If a team just needed a draw in this situation, like Korea, they need a win. It's going to be a lot more open because they're going to keep on pushing and pushing and pushing. And again, the reserves and depths of Portugal are still fantastic. Rafael Leao is one of the best players in Italy, and he's capable of scoring and creating chances. We saw that in the first match. That was the difference against Ghana. So it's not like goals will be lacking. There's plenty of talent there. Again, lineup dependent. You have to check this stuff because you have no idea what Fernando Santos is going to do. And again, I think it's pretty important with no Nuno Mendes for the rest of the tournament for Portugal. Does Cancelo go over to the left? Is it Rafael Guerreiro? Is it Dalot on the right? I think there's so many interchangeable parts fullback wise that I think if Cancelo were to go on the left side, I think he's way better there like he is for Manchester City. And if he starts and he can combine up with João Felix or Rafael Leao, that could be really deadly and potent. And again, Korea, they've shown they can create chances and score. So it's not outlandish. We've seen Portugal concede. I think Uruguay was just really, really bad at scoring. So I think they could have been scored on. But I like over 2.5 in this one. And both teams to score as well was another one I saw.
Yeah, both teams to score is my bet for this one. And again, if it's not always going to hit, but in my eyes, if this is kind of same vibes as France and Tunisia at a point. Again, not the same thing, but you have one team who's already punched their ticket and is the better team in Portugal here, and then you have a team like South Korea who has shown some promise. Tunisia has been significantly better than South Korea has in this tournament, but if you like South Korea to score first or them to win the match, if you want to throw some money on the money line, it's not the worst thing. I think if I had to go with either of those, it'd be for them to score first, but I'm probably just going to play it a little safer and just go for both teams to score here. So who do you think's advancing out of this group here?
Oh man, I need Uruguay for this
Yeah.
$30 group parlay. So I need Brazil to win their group. I need Uruguay to qualify. I already have the Netherlands winning. So please, please, Uruguay, Luis Suarez, make them eat their words about calling you the devil himself, please. I'm just going on Uruguay just because I need them to win the bet. I would not be shocked if Ghana go through. I do have them on a risk-free play that's plus 100. Just to qualify, by the way. So also, like, looking at those live qualifying odds, those are always a live thing that you could look at. It's just not the game itself, it's who's to qualify. So you saw yesterday, again, for example, just to bring this up, when we saw Poland and Mexico, Poland was actually the underdog at one point to qualify for the next round, even though Mexico was in advance like that. So it's little things like that that you could take advantage of. So just keep your eyes out open for that. But I do think it's one of the teams from Ghana and Uruguay. I know that's not overly complicated or great analysis, but I do think it's one of those two.
It's analysis nonetheless, and you'll take it. Again, those live bets on who to qualify, again, are the big ones. And you talk about needing Uruguay. For the sake of my World Cup fantasy team that is a company competition, to not make a fool of myself, I need Darwin Nunez to do literally anything. Moving on to our last group for the group stages. It's crazy we've gotten to this point already. Obviously, tomorrow is the last day for group stage play. It's Group G. It's Cameroon and Brazil. Are we getting the same vibes? Again, Brazil has already punched their ticket. Obviously, no Neymar. His ankle looks gross. Does Cameroon have something up their sleeves here?
Yeah, I think it was more about Serbia last game. They're still not going to have Andre Onana, so like his teammates all convinced him to try and stay, but he's left. He's gone to France now. They're kind of in disarray. They do need things to break well. I don't see it benefiting them with what's going to happen in Serbia, Switzerland. I don't see much coming out of Cameroon. Again, Brazil can go a little bit, soft with the lineups, but I don't think they're worth betting on the money line, and I don't think triple money line is worth looking at, in my opinion. Maybe a draw, because it's one of those silly games, like say Brazil just tries to sit back and they go more defensive. They just want to see the game out. They do have opportunities. But for me, at one point, it was at plus 220 on Caesars that it was a Brazil halftime, full time, but plus 110 is still good. Like we're talking about, if Brazil just get one, I think they could see out the rest of the match as well, and put themselves in position with a second one. Because if Cameroon's going to keep that game open and push for a win, you could easily see Brazil running in from behind if they have Vinny Jr. in. There's still Everton Soares, who's a very talented player. So again, Brazil has super depth. You can't forget about that. I think that's also why that's a part of this line here, a number. But for me, I kind of trust Brazil with this.
So just a group reset. Brazil, again, has punched their ticket already there atop of the group with 6 points. Switzerland right behind them with 3. Cameroon and Serbia both with 1. Again, I don't like Cameroon advancing here. I like you mentioned, I think, you rest people if you're Brazil. You don't take any chances, but I think the depth is just too much. And we almost got burned by Germany halftime, full time. I think we grabbed that at around like minus 150 or something. And like an hour after the episode came out, it shot up to around 300, 350. So you want to get on these as quickly as possible. And again,
that's why we're live.
Before those lineups come out too. That's the advantage of watching us live and getting those bets in live, is that you get those best numbers. I'm rolling with you here. I'm rolling with Brazil at halftime and full time. I think the number is good. I like the value you're getting. Like you said, Cameroon is just in disarray. Unorganized teams are not going to do well against a Brazilian team, which might not be playing for everything, but is certainly not playing for nothing. And now for our final game of the day, the final group stage game of the tournament. It is Serbia and Switzerland. I don't know that we've seen that many evenly matched games like this in terms of maybe talent, in terms of line, and in terms of importance here. It's essentially a pick 'em here. I think you're rolling with the Swiss, though.
I just trust the Swiss a lot more. Serbia on paper, I think, have just as much talent, if not more. For me, it's kind of a little narrative driven. I know players like Shaqiri and Granit Xhaka have, like they have Albanian background. They're playing Serbians. Like it's a very emotional type thing. We saw it in
Mhm.
2018. That's kind of why I'm putting in that direction of Shaqiri again. Anytime assist or goal is something to look at. And Bolo is such a good player. We saw the issues that the Serbs had when they were playing Cameroon, players running in from behind, and Bolo is one of those players that could do that. No Okafor, if they get him in this match, they're just such a threat. And this is the type of game that Switzerland loves to play, right? Because again, they're not guaranteed to go through. A winner in this
Mhm.
puts them through to the next round. And this is going to be the best match of the day, in my opinion. I think it's going to
Mhm.
be so much fun. It's going to have so much drama. And I hope it's going to have the goals. So I have put down over 2.5 in Swiss money line. I could see like a 2-1 victory. Not overly high scoring, but that's at plus 478. So it was a pretty high number to see. So
Mhm.
just a 2-1 Swiss win gives me that. I like it. And
Yeah,
we're just 2.5 alone, by the way, as well. Sorry about that.
yeah, and 2.5 is probably a nice number to hit at the over. Um, I'm gonna stay a little away because honestly, I see this coming out to a 1-1 draw. I think both teams have had chances to this point in group and haven't exactly seized them, which is not not a hot take, especially from the Serbian side. I see this as a 1-1 draw. If you want both teams to score, if you want to draw no bet, if you don't think that's going to happen, like I would honestly put money on a draw at 1-1 if I get to it, but I don't know. It's hard because you look at the goal scoring on one side and I can see the wheels are spinning in my brain just trying to like work through what I like here. I probably lean towards a draw, 1-1 if anything.
But that's why
Um,
live betting is so
yeah.
incredible, because again, like you're saying we're sitting like 1-1 at this point. Like it's a very realistic situation. Like
Mhm.
I'm just saying, like this scenario pops up. We didn't see what was going to happen today with Japan, Germany, Costa Rica, Spain, right? What if this scenario goes down, right? Brazil sits a lot of their guys. Say Cameroon
Mhm.
shocks us. They're getting those 3 points. They got that draw over there. Like say someone's in risk. We're talking about a 1-1 draw happening in Serbia versus Switzerland. Do you go with the over at that point? They know like they have to grab a win.
Mhm.
Just to put themselves into position to advance. So for me, I think that's always something to look towards. Even
I mean, you
even
got that in
second,
Germany's game. You saw that in the German game today.
exactly. It can get to pure chaos, and
Mhm.
this is match day 3. It's just there's something different about this match day because there's so many opportunities for teams to still advance, and that's the difference. Is you don't know, so you might as well go for the win, and
Mhm.
that's why you could say that. And again, plus 105 for over 2.5 on an elimination game where everything's on the line and teams need to win. You could see goals like that. We saw 6
Mhm.
in one and 3 in the other. Like it's not. I think we're a little bit past that 0-0 stuff on the final match day, at least.
Mhm.
Whether knockout stages is a completely different type of cap, but yeah, I could easily see this having a lot of goals. But again, I don't want to conflict with your thought process. You go with what makes you feel safe with your
There's
gut.
my problem is there's too many thoughts in my thought process right now. And of course, again, make sure you're getting the best value. Best value for that draw, if you're riding with me, is at plus 235 on DraftKings. As you can see there, we have the best value on any books on our website. So you can see where to put your money because there's no reason to lose out on any juice. You can get some free bets on our free picks hub and also our free bets hub on OddsChecker's website. Also, make sure you're following us on YouTube. We have all the best picks across any sport. You got the Morning Edge and Sharp Bets Today every single day. The Huddle for all your football picks if you're interested. And of course, always keep it locked with Golden Goal daily as we get into the round of 16. We have your best bets. Before I let you go, Martino, I need a prediction here. Who's coming out of this group and in what order? Let's make it spicy.
I think Brazil finished
Sorry.
first. I know it's okay. I think Brazil finished first. As far as Serbia and Switzerland, oh my goodness, man. I mean,
I picked Brazil and Serbia. Tell me if I'm going to be happy tomorrow.
I listen. I picked the Serbs to advance prior to the tournament. They were plus 120 to qualify out of the group. I
Mhm.
just think in this type of match, it favors the Swiss and the way the Serbs have been playing. Again, it could easily go any direction. I know that's kind of lazy, but for me, I have to stick with my gut. That's been working all tournament, except when I decide to place and not place bets. just always place the bets that you go with your gut. Don't be an idiot like me. If you could take one thing away, you could learn a little bit about soccer, but the one thing you have to learn is go with your gut in this.
Not exactly what you want to hear, but if you learn one thing, it's go with your gut or go with golden goal, whichever one you prefer. He's Martino Puccio. I'm Matias Weilmann. We are going to be with you again tomorrow with all your best bets. As we start wrapping things up, we're going to take a look at an interesting Saturday morning affair between Netherlands and the U.S. because the bracket is starting to look a little interesting on the U.S. side if you want to start throwing some low-risk bets or some high-risk, low-money bets on the U.S. there. But we're going to talk more about that tomorrow. I guess you're just going to have to come back and find out. Again, he's Martino Puccio. I'm Matias Weilmann. We are Golden Goal. We'll talk to you in about 24 hours.